Hello, guys. Hi, this is Ganesh Nayak. I help finance professionals and students to excel in their career and become a better version of themselves. And I also help students preparing for FRM, CFA, and SCR exam. In today's interview, we're going to be talking to one of our students who has been able to clear the GARP SCR exam in the October attempt. And he's going to be talking about his journey of preparing for the exam, the challenges that he faced, and how he was able to manage entirely along with the job. So, Chetan, thank you very much for taking out time and talking to us. And if you can give a brief about yourself to the audience and your years of experience.
Hi everyone, and thanks Ganesh for having me on a Saturday afternoon. It's a pleasure to be with you, and I think you are seeing me for the first time. And so, a brief introduction about me: I have been all my life in my career as a treasury personnel. So I've been handling instruments, right, in fixed income and FX as well. So around 18-20 years of experience. And before that, I've done my background is basically an engineer plus an MBA in finance. So that is where my background stays. Thank you again. Yes.
Okay, perfect. So, Chetan, this attempt of October, was this your first attempt for SCR exam?
No. This was my second attempt. Initially, I had one failed attempt which went exactly 1 year back, and
Okay.
this time around, it was good enough for me to see through the exam. Yes. So I believe the support that I got from intelligence and even from you on a personal level that really showed up on how the exam preparation went.
Okay.
And I think yes, but yes, passing it is there's no second parallel satisfaction as to passing it. Yes.
Right. So you gave the first attempt in last year, October, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And at that point in time, you were just going through the GARB book.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And you solve the sample paper before going to the exam?
I did solve the sample paper. So interestingly, what happens is that there are normally questions which do get repeated in the exams from the sample paper as well.
Hmm.
So that is one. I guess this is one of the feedback that I saw in the LinkedIn posts that were coming across from the people of the students who had given in during their previous years. So I made it a point to go through the GARP mock paper at least twice or thrice before going in for the exam last year around. And yes, this time around, yes, there were papers which are given by you. So maybe more the papers, the better it is for the student to be better prepared and handle the questions.
Okay. So what was the issue that you identified that you could not clear last time? What was the problem?
The issue is that last time the start was very aggressive in terms of study, but I
Okay.
felt around about when 4 months of studies and then first 2 months you're bang on it and on it studying across. Then the third month I felt slightly that I felt कि बहुत पढ़ाई हो गया है अभी, so थोड़ा मुझे I felt that sort of lethargic कि एक चैप्टर वापस कितनी बार पढूं.
Hmm.
So I think, but that shouldn't happen. Frankly speaking, there should be not let up in the objective, single-minded objective that the XCR exam is not an easy paper to crack. Though
Okay.
it might seem that it is only a 200 pages book or a 250 pages book, but it is like Chota packet bada dhamaka, as you can put it, because it is very exhaustive, very collaborative. You have got pieces, but the GAR book doesn't leave out anything from any point. If you're talking of right about sustainability and climate risk, they literally cover everything. And
Right.
it is in such a case that when it is so exhaustive, you have to be on the accelerator all in. So that is what I felt. So there was slightly with 4 months of preparation, I felt slightly the third month and the first half of the fourth month, I slightly let it down,
Okay.
wherein I could have really maintained the same momentum that I had in the first 2 months. So yes,
Okay.
and again, if I could add this time, interestingly, I saw I. So what happens is that normally when you start giving the exams, you rush through the chapters. I mean, you start reading the chapters initially, but I think it is very
Right.
important for students and for students who will be giving it in the future to look at the objectives as well. The chapter very nicely briefs out the objectives that the GARP is expecting from you to understand from a particular chapter.
बराबर.
So once the chapter is done, I would request everyone to just go through the objectives once and try to recollect that if they see that objective, yes, this is the objective that I'm looking around, I can recollect from what it is talking about. So
Okay.
that is one very important tip I would like to share with the prospective students on this case.
Okay. And so when did you join us for the preparation? Which month?
I joined in the month of August.
August 2023. And
Yes,
from
August
that day
2023.
onwards, what was the time commitment that you were giving?
This time I was more of committed because I could definitely fall back on you. So I knew that there was another force which would be there to propel me in case I was losing out on not looking at the cause. So time-wise, I would say that it is not an easy exam. If you think it is, because even during the first attempt, I felt it is only theory. There is not much of analytical things in that, so it will be very easy to clear.
Right.
But believe me, it is not easy to clear. You never know from which corner of the book they would ask you the questions. Saturday, Sunday, be on it. Be on it. I would say Saturday, Sunday, give the maximum amount of time you can give it for studies. 2 3 months is just devote yourself, and even during the day I used to come from office. I used to spare at least an hour, at least an hour or hour and a half to read through the eh, books, or maybe even listen to your videos. So that is how I saw the time commitment. But weekends is a must. Don't
Okay.
give up on weekends.
So you were watching the video, the Fintelligent video, and then you were solving the question bank also, correct?
Yes. So what I was doing is that since I had the this experience of reading the book once during my failed attempt. So this time around, what I did was that I started with watching your videos first, and then as your video progressed, I would then again then go back to the book. On the chapter, and then I could connect myself, because reading the book altogether is very is a tedious task, because you by the time you finish the first chapter and go to the second, and second is done, you might not recollect the first chapter,
That's
such
correct.
as the language. And with also age catching up and gray cells going more grayer, so I don't know, it might be an age factor, because I was not able to capture it so well. So I needed a couple of revisions to be prepared for the exam this time around.
Okay, got it. And then how many mock papers did you solve before the actual exam this time?
Yeah, this is a very interesting question, Ganesh. I believe there are four mock questions, four mock papers, and one GARP mock
GARP sample
paper,
paper.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, sample paper which you provide. So what I did was that, see, I had expected to take a couple of days or 3 days of leave before my exam and solve only the papers at that point in time. But unfortunately, it seemed that I got an email message stating that my center was cancelled due to some unforeseen reasons, and I rescheduled my exam, but I couldn't get a date. So my exams were rescheduled immediately the next day, because there was only one center left. And so I
Okay.
applied for Pearson Center, stating that let me not take the risk of not giving the exam this time. So I went for the safer bet. So that is also important, that students see to it that they check on the Pearson Center first, because this is an issue which I have heard from other students also, that exams are getting rescheduled, and at the last moment they are not able to get the center of their choice. So people have traveled from Mumbai to Pune also to give their exams this point in time.
Right.
So I think that was and so that at that point in time, I had mock paper preparation in mind during my off days, which I would devote to them. But then I couldn't really get through them. So what I did was that I did not solve the mock papers. I solved the first two mock papers, and the third and the fourth paper I just went to the question and answer series.
Okay.
But then again, the approach I used there was the wrong option elimination is one important point that
Right.
needs to be kept in mind. because the options are very close to each other and they really confuse the hell out of you in the exams. So it is better most of the times you eliminate the wrong questions and you come to the right answer rather than directly pointing to this is the right answer. So that is one point we kept to the mind. And even mock papers, one thing which I would like to tip off is that if there is a wrong option, just understand why that option is wrong. So
Right.
if there are four options, if you tick the first option as right and you get that right answer, don't move on to the next question. Also check why the other three options are wrong in the mock paper that is
Right.
provided by Fintelligence and also by
The car.
GARP SCR. Yes, because the level of explanation out over there really helps you to settle more of your fundas and understanding of the topic. So that is
Okay.
one thing the student should keep in mind.
So when you solved those two mocks properly, what was the score that you were getting?
I was getting around 35, 40. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So on an average, I generally suggest it has to be around 45. So it is lower than that. So when you went to the exam, what was the confidence level?
The confidence level this time, see, last time I think I had put too much of expectations from myself on getting the exam cleared.
Hmm.
So this time around, I thought, let me take it slightly easy of not pressurizing myself, but rather enjoying the process. So this
Okay.
time around, even while reading the chapters, I sometimes just would pick up the book casually and maybe open some page and just maybe look at it as a knowledge point of view, or rather, because I'm more inclined towards sustainability and reading it from an interest point of view rather than an examination point of view. So I
Okay.
had this approach also this time. So it was not for examination. I thought, let this time, as last time, I thought this time, let me not read it for examination per se, but maybe help me understand about climate risk and sustainability as a better person.
Got it.
So I did not pressurize myself this time during exam. So I went with a free mind. I did not so
Okay.
because I did not. But during exam, what I did was this time I changed something from last time. So this time, what I did was that if I was getting stuck in a particular question, I did not waste my time on that question. I would directly
Okay.
jump to the next question, and this I did from the question number 1 to question number 80. I would just skip on questions that I would not get it. Then I would revisit again. At one point in time, after all my 80 questions were done, what I did was I revisited the questions and I could think with a straight mind. And I guess, yes.
Okay.
So that is also that is one approach I changed from last examination.
Okay. Okay. And now, when you went to the exam, you have used all your knowledge, your option elimination, everything. When you came out of the exam, was there any number in your mind that okay, I've completed now, I feel this much should be correct?
Uh, I had an inclination that around I would get around 50% of the required. I believe the passing percentage is on 50%. So I was pretty satisfied about how the exams went. In fact, there were a couple of analytical questions also. I could manage those questions also.
Okay.
So that is what I mentioned that this time around I did not pressurize myself too much. I rather enjoyed reading the book and hearing your videos. And yes, of course, the interaction also in the group helped. So it is very important to have that interaction in the Telegram group. Just don't be a silent spectator. Uh,
Right.
uh, give your thoughts. So the thoughts might be up to the fact. If it is not, someone will be there to correct you, and of course, you are there, of course, to correct. So don't be a silent spectator in the group. Indulge yourself in discussions. uh, Read papers, I would say. Read newspapers where every other day you might find some articles on sustainability, green
Right.
financing, climate risk. So this is what, even in today's paper, there is one article by World Bank chief. So this is going to be a main point in coming days. So every day you would find something or the other in the newspaper about sustenance. So that is how you develop that interest. So you would know, yes, and you can also up your level of knowledge. So when you start reading newspapers and you find something or the other topic, so again when you come to the book, so you can easily correlate.
That's correct.
So that is how, yeah. So
And
yes, but
also, so when now we are looking back, okay, if I have to tell you that, give me 3 tips from your experience to students who are going to prepare for this exam in the future. What would be those 3 tips?
one is sorry. One is definitely be dedicated, be disciplined. By that, I mean Saturdays, Sundays, just focus yourself on Saturdays and Sundays
Mm-hmm.
for this paper. Though it looks theory, do not take it lightly. It is not like a simple, and the passing percentage is very stringent as what they have maintained. Secondly, what I saw is that this time when I went through the objectives, it is very nicely mentioned. I don't know how many students actually see this, but it is very nicely mentioned that how many questions we can expect from every topic.
Hmm.
Interestingly, the chapter number 6 has got around more
More
questions that are
questions,
likely
yes.
to most questions to come and likely to come in. So I would say that go all out on chapter number 6. Though chapter number 1 looks very easy
Mm-hmm.
on theory because it's just the introduction. But even last time and this time around, when they showed the quartile, I have not done well on chapter number 1. Though it looks very easy. So chapter number 1 can really be very tricky in terms of the language they use during examinations.
Okay.
So go thoroughly on chapter number 6. So 2 or 3 chapters, do it in such a way that even if someone asks you questions at midnight, you are able to answer.
Okay. Okay.
And don't read it as theory. Every point which they come across, put across it as a case study. When you're talking about case study, you put yourself in that position because in exams there will not be any direct questions. It will all be like there will be some case studies. So there will be questions which will be like 5 or 6 sentences. Maybe when you're on the fourth line of that question, you forget the
Hmm.
first sentence.
That's
That is
correct.
how they that is how
Yeah.
they make it. But don't get fluttered by it. Maintain your calm. Yeah, I guess yes. And it is easier said than done now that I have cleared it. But I think these are the couple of tips I would like to share with, and be confident on the exam day because it is only the practice, how hard you practice on the exam day. It is like a delivery time, so you have to just be there.
Okay.
So that is how it is.
Okay. Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful, Chetan. I mean, this
Sorry,
conversation.
I forgot
Yeah.
mentioning. Yeah, uh, get get the mock test paper which you provide. Get it done. Go through it maybe once or twice, but do not forget the GAP mock paper which they give. The sample question paper. Just go through it. If you need to mug it up, just mug it up the questions and the answers
Okay.
through there. So yeah, so that is one thing which is very essential, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful, Chetan. I mean, this conversation is going to be really helpful for a lot of students who are going to be preparing in the future. It will motivate them, and especially the last few tips that you talked about. I mean, they will be able to connect better now, how to deal with things and how to manage their preparation. So wonderful. I mean, thank you very much, Chetan, for taking out time and talking to us over here and sharing your journey.
No problem, Ganesh. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Had a great time.